What's up, guys? Welcome back. Corvette Weekly special. We'll call it 4th of July, even though that is technically tomorrow. Happy 4th of July. So, anyway, guys, obviously Corvette Weekly with Horsepower Obsessed, Protective Dad Pranks, Front Seat Driver. Together we are Vet Syndicate. Why don't one of the guys from Vet Syndicate talk about the show that we just put on?
Go for it, Jason.
Man, it was a blast. So we got there at 3 o'clock. There was already quite a few people there. Our event officially started at 4. By 4:08, we probably had over 100 cars, and they were the parking lot was nearly full. And you look down the street, and there's another parking lot full of cars about to pull in. The DFW Kings and Queens, we told them, hey, listen, man, you guys got here late last time. You might want to get here earlier. So they got there right after 4 o'clock, and literally we ended up having to get them to park out back. They did a little parade through the event, and then we had a bunch of them had to park out in the back. It was absolutely nuts. We had a DJ there, and, hey, listen, I'm 50. I'll be 51 next week or so, next Monday, actually, July 10th. So I'll be 51. But anyway, so the DJ was there. He was playing Rat. He played some Judas Priest. He played some old 70s like Foghat and some other newer type stuff. I even heard that guy that I'm not a fan of. What's the white rapper that's huge?
Enema.
So they played Enema.
Oh my God.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun, man. We had a blast. And so one of the really cool things is that we had this kid that has like the little Razor scooter, and he was doing some backflips, and we had a matte black C8 Z06 there, and he did a backflip over it. So Neely, the girl who we do a lot of, she's kind of the rep we have there that we work with. She's the promoter for Texas Harley Davidson. So her and the owner of the C8 Z06 are sitting in the car, and a kid does the backflips over it. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it's not just a car show, which we like, we want to see the cars, but man, it's really kind of like an event, man. It's like a family. There's lots of dude. There were girls washing cars, washing motorcycles predominantly there. They're in bikinis. That was pretty cool. But we had food trucks. We had also one of our friends, she's a photographer. So she was doing these really cool photos for people for their cars and stuff. I mean, it's the largest Corvette event in the DFW area. And the only thing I would think that we are second to in the state of Texas is that Corvette Invasion, but that's a once a year event. You know what I mean? And they get people coming from everywhere. So, and ours is a monthly event. So it's been a lot of fun, man. I know, Steve, I know he had a blast. Although it was going to rain, and it did rain on the way home. So he was glad.
Tell him.
It did. It rained on his
home. So, where's my car? Where was my car?
Oh, man. It was in the vacuum sealed garage, man.
We have an event, and I don't even have my car in there.
Yeah. We didn't need it, though.
It did say 96% chance of rain, and it did rain on the way home.
His area of DFW actually was high probability for rain. Weatherford and Fort Worth and all that had a high probability for rain, and it did rain. We did lose some people.
Yeah, but we still had 208 Corvettes.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Dude, the whole entire parking lot plus around the back, it was nuts, man.
We're gonna get Justin down here, and we're gonna throw a bigger one. It's gonna be massive.
As soon as my Z06 comes in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can be the matte black. The kid jumps over. Oh, well, you're doing gloss now. Thank God.
Yeah.
I actually like it. I think after seeing the matte in person, I do
like the gloss.
Yeah. But
you're saying the same, Jason? You like the gloss better?
Yeah, I like the gloss. It's not that I didn't like the matte. It looks good. I'm not saying it doesn't look good.
Right.
I want that shine, like that. It's just, it's like diamonds, man. I want to see that shine in it. And I just think personal preference. But I was going to say, I do have a video coming out. These things are so long. I have to break them up. There's so many cars to try to show. I break them up into 2 videos. So I've got one video coming out. It's already done. It'll be out on Thursday, and then I'm gonna work on the other one tonight. I plan to have it out on Friday, so if anybody's interested in seeing it, those videos will be out, and the backflip is in the video on Thursday.
It was even cooler, the amount of people even in this chat watching right now that we got to meet in person. It was nuts. I didn't realize there's so many people watch us on Corvette Weekly that are actually in the DFW area, and they're like, hey, and then I got people like they're coming up there wearing their Vet Syndicate shirts, and it was so cool.
Yeah, it was. That's always been the coolest thing. I've always wanted to see, like, I want more people wearing the Vet Syndicate. When I see them at our events, that's what makes me feel like, wow, man, we're accomplishing things, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, guys, obviously this is going to be a 4th of July themed Corvette Weekly. We already had some fireworks going off. Got the American flag over here. And then on the opposite side here, this is actually a subscriber's car named Steven. He's from Florida. I was supposed to go down and see that car, but ended up not being able to do it. It would be exactly what mine would look like if I were to stealth it. But we've done the poll. The masses have spoken. I'm not going to do stealth. I'm going gloss. Yeah, guys, we all got our new shirts on. These are the American flag themed Vet Syndicate shirts. So if you pre-ordered some of yours, you should be getting them. You should have gotten them either today or you'll get them on Wednesday.
Dr. Corvette got his.
Yeah, I saw somebody else in here said they got theirs as well.
Oh, and the giveaway ones, they're going out tomorrow because Dr. Corvette has one, so I saw his name on it.
All right, so that's a good segue into what the giveaway is tonight. So for those of you interested, we're going to do, again, a scrape armor radiator grill guard for a C8 Stingray, not a Z06 this time. This is for a Stingray. So once again, they are $400 plus tax plus shipping. We want to recoup about $800. So if we can get about $800 worth of donations tonight, these will be given away tonight. Every $100 donation is going to be double entries. So you're going to get 20 entries to win. You're going to get a free t-shirt of this variety. And the first 4 people to donate, you'll have the choice between the t-shirt or the C8 Corvette brochure, which I've shown before. But if you haven't seen it, super, super, super high quality stuff. The whole book is, the pages here are all laminated in a real bright silver, you can see. Very, very, very nice book. So if you're interested in one of these, a $100 donation will get you this for sure. And it will get you 20 entries into winning the C8 Corvette scrape armor radiator grill guards. So not
and
for
the
the
shirts
Z06.
are limited sized because we ordered 60 of these shirts and we only have 14 left. So that tells you how good. And so large.
We definitely have at least one of every size though. So
pretty much, yes.
So yeah, guys, if you want to get in on the giveaway, as usual, the Venmo stuff is posted at the top of the chat. So every $100 donation.
Tonight, because I won't be here next week, but you have a special guest.
Yeah, we're going to have a special guest next week, guys. So instead of Steve, we can finally get rid of him and get somebody else on the show. I'm just joking.
I'll be putting some suntan lotion on this chicken skin.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, the brochure is really a nice looking, I'll call it it's more of a book than a brochure. And honestly, I totally see why GM does not give these away. These are supposed to be free at a dealership. I don't understand how it would even be possible for GM to make these and give them away for free because of how high quality they are. They have to have probably $20 into every one of these. So to give these away for free would be insane.
When you're charging $100K over for a car,
that's true.
A box of freaking books.
That's very true. Very true. My bad. All right, guys. So yeah, while we're at it, if you could please go ahead, smash that thumbs up button. We actually do have some pretty interesting news to cover today. If you have a Z06 or have one coming, there is a little bit more of an update to the fix for the ticking sound, and it kind of sucks. So you guys, if you were here last week when I told you what the fix was, it was just a retorquing. That is partially still true, but there's a little bit more involved now. We're going to talk about that in a second.
Ouch. Yuck.
Steven Risha, I actually just got in the mail. I got your Expel products that you won the other day, and I wanted to see from you if you wanted me to ship them or if you wanted to meet up somewhere so I could just give them to you. It's up to you. Let me know what you're thinking about that.
Hey, John Perkins just said he went out to his mailbox and found his Vet Syndicate shirt.
There it is. There it is. That's awesome. I think a lot of them got delivered today. Mine got delivered, must have been Saturday.
Yeah.
It is the same car, but it is a slightly different picture. It is a really nice looking car. So I'll be honest with you. I wanted to change it and I totally forgot. I know that sounds really bad. So maybe I will change it halfway through here. It's kind of a process, but yeah. Oh, look at this. We got Amber in the background with her pink Bet Syndicate shirt on.
Oh, does she? Oh, she got to show it. Come on.
Yeah, stand back up and show it.
I got to see this.
Everybody wants to see.
Full screen. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, God. I know what the internet's going to be thinking about that.
I know. I had to put a filter on what I was going to say.
Elijah says Speed Phenom lowered his price. It's now $214,000. Oh, God love him. God love him. He's basically giving it away at this point.
I know, man.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm speaking for myself. The guy.
Okay, hold on.
The guy is a douche bag.
I want to preface this. Say it again, Steve. You're thinking for yourself.
I'm thinking for myself. I don't represent this. I'm just sorry. That guy's a douchebag. You can forward this, record it. Project That Prank says, Speed Phenom, you are a douchebag for doing this. I'm not paying for your car, and anybody that gives money to that little punk, I'm sorry. Hope somebody records it. I don't care. The guy's a little nerd. That I'm done. I'm done with this guy. I'm done.
Right.
Okay, go on to somebody else.
Yeah.
So here's my only big issue. The guy has a McLaren, and you're begging.
That's why.
You know what I mean? Like, sell a car. You know.
And
I'm following. It's not like you can't afford it.
Yeah. Go to Corvette Blogger is a great article right now.
Oh yeah. If you go to the Corvette Blogger and look up the article of them, what they wrote about Speed Phenom wanting to get an E-Ray now, look at the comments on the article. The comments are absolutely tearing him apart.
As they should.
And I was going to say, to an extent, rightfully so. I don't want to necessarily get into, he said, she said stuff on here, but just go to the Corvette Blogger and look up that article and look at the comments on it. I mean, it'll tell you all you need to know right from there.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, raise some money for somebody that can't afford the Corvette and give it to them. There's something cool to do. Not, I can't afford my Lamborghini. I can't afford my McLaren. Please give me some money.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not going to be on next week's show.
Yeah, you're playing the groundwork for us to get torn apart next week. Thanks.
So is Justin.
Rant's over.
Darren says, whoever buys Speed Phenom's car will never live it down. They won't. And not only will they never live it down, they're never going to even be able to enjoy that car because there is no way that it hasn't been beaten on to the point where it's probably not even going to last. I mean, he has 6,000 miles on it or something around there, and 5,000 of them are hard-driven track miles. Yeah, AARPM. I was thinking the same thing. I didn't want it to get super heated over this, but I told Steve, I said, you can have your minute, to talk about what you want to talk about.
Well, they're bringing up street speed. I want to tell you one thing. Okay, this is pro street speed because I actually misjudged him a long time ago for what he does for veterans and cops and everything he does and the way he goes about doing it, the way he raise money. That's the way to do it. Like I completely. I never met Street Speed, but I love the dude because of what he does. He does so much behind the scenes that most people don't realize. So hats off to him. That's the way you do. That's the way you raise stuff. And to me, he's deserving of a Z06 or anything else. Good dude.
I've said this before, but the more time that I spend around Street Speed, the more I realize he really is in it for the Corvette community. And you wouldn't think that given that he is a larger channel, but he definitely is. Everything he does is to better the Corvette community. A lot of the stuff he does, maybe you don't agree with, some of it's a little, we'll say childish, but you got to remember he's also in his early 20s. So he really is still kind of a kid. So the fact that he's got a head on straight enough that he's willing to raise money for the right things, support the local law enforcement, put together car shows that are for Corvettes and really any cars. And he still keeps coming back to Corvette, even though he could easily go out and buy a Lamborghini Aventador and totally ignore the Corvette community. But he keeps coming back. So, yeah.
Yeah, Wyatt, we're comparing them, but in an opposite way.
Yeah.
We're
Totally
mentioning,
different.
we're talking about opposites here and how one is bad and one is good.
Paul,
Yeah.
that's actually a really great idea. We're the whole Vet Syndicate crew here. We're going to talk about this after we hang up here. Having a donation for St. Jude at Carlisle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that's a good idea because we did a something very similar in November this past year. We did the Vets for Vets show, and we raised what we end up raising, Jason.
Well, initially it was like 700 or whatever, but then when they sent me the last updated statement, it was like wasn't it like another couple of thousand or something?
Yeah, I was gonna
like
say I wanted to say it was
4,000.
$4 or $5 grand.
It was 4.
And we raised and
Crazy amount of money. I was like,
yeah, and it wasn't even a huge turnout.
yeah.
Oh, no, there was like 20 cars. Could you imagine
Yeah.
what we do at our takeovers?
I know, 100%.
That's when we get Justin down here.
Oh
Have
yeah.
A real takeover.
All right. I'm working on changing the car of the week, so bear with me here a second, guys. This is how the magic happens. It happens on the fly because I totally forgot to do it earlier.
You should have made it. We should have made it that kid backflipping over the Z06. That would have been a good
Yeah.
one.
No, tonight is going to be Larry Anthony's car because he
Nice.
took a really awesome picture, but unfortunately I can't put the whole thing in here because of the way it's taken. It's super tall. He actually took it in front of the building from Die Hard at the end of Die Hard. If you guys remember that, it's. Let me see if I can
Oh,
just pull it
cool.
up here. I want to show the whole picture.
I love that.
So I think Larry Anthony's on here. Pretty
Yes,
sure I
he
saw
is.
him on
He
here.
is. He's here.
Okay.
Man,
Well, Larry, you're getting your couple minutes of fame here.
I love it.
It's gloss, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
gloss.
And he's got it back now, right?
Yeah, he does. So we'll just turn that off for now.
But you know what? You can't. The Z06 exhaust is amazing.
Yeah.
Like hearing that, it sounds like a race car. It's awesome. Ferrari, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I just love it.
So, guys, we had a black screen there for a second because I was trying to add in the Chrome browser here, but you can see his picture in front of the Die Hard building. I can't remember what. Yeah, that's it. Nakatomi Plaza. Yeah, very cool. So Larry Anthony's car. This is a 70th anniversary edition Z06. Obviously carbon flash painted. Looks really freaking awesome, and that's a really cool picture. He actually had the same picture done with his red C8 Corvette that he had, but very cool. So yeah. So what do we got here, guys? I saw a lot of the same names in here. I like to address all you guys for the most part. Say hi to the people that I see in here a lot. Larry Anthony, obviously. Shane is in the house. Kerry Glock, Mark Cutsey, Cole McMeans, Matt Hurley, of course. Amber's here. Paul Lamonaco, Elijah.
Bruno.
Bruno likes Steve's rants, apparently.
Yeah. Mr.
Um,
Keys in.
So,
I'm gonna pay
guys,
for
just
that after this.
so
I'm
we're all
telling
on the
you.
same page here. I really enjoy Steve's rants too. I try to keep them at a minimum because I realize there are other people on YouTube that may not enjoy those rants.
Yeah.
So that's the
But if
only
you wanna
reason I
hear
try to
him
keep
on
them to a minimum.
Instagram, you'll hear him all the time.
I was going to say he is unchained on Instagram or even on his particular YouTube channel.
Yeah. That's why I'm not monetized. I can do what I want.
Hey,
Right.
by the way, earlier I saw somebody said check your Venmo.
Yeah, I did see that too. I meant to do that. So, guys, again, if you're interested in the giveaway tonight, every $100 donated is going to get you 20 or 2 times the entries, and it's going to get you a free T-shirt or a free brochure, your choice. But I only have 4 brochures to give away. So, if you were wanting one of those, it's only going to be for the first 4.
What was the Venmo? What was it for?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tyler donated $100. So Tyler, you have the option of either the brochure or a T-shirt. Let me know which one you want, and then of course I'll just need your shipping address for whichever one you choose. So right now, guys, we have $100 in. Like I said, in order to give away the Scrape Armor Radiator Grill Guards, we are going to want to have $800 donated by the end of the day, or we will wait until next week to donate to give them away. If you guys are wondering, this is what the radiator grill guards look like. I actually don't have them on hand just yet. They're still in the mail, but this is them here. They're $400 plus tax plus shipping. So that's why we're kind of set on the $800 mark. But
Oh my gosh.
that's the giveaway for tonight.
I don't have a single mark in my radiator grills. I checked this morning. Those things hold up.
Well, I mean,
Okay, don't go there. I do have 2,000 miles. Oh, by the way, I gotta say this. I launch controlled it for the first time this week.
Yeah.
Night and day. Night and day compared to just regularly getting on it.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was literally shocked. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. The C8's something else. It really is. The way it launches like an all-wheel drive car. So I'm kind of curious how the all-wheel drive, obviously E-Ray, is going to launch better than a car that already feels like an all-wheel drive car when it launches.
I bet that's an insane launch.
It's going to be impressissive.
Because it's quicker than the Z06 off the line, right?
Yeah.
The E-Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah. 0.1 seconds.
Yeah. Not enough that you'll ever know.
You'll probably never feel that, but the only reason it's faster is because of the all-wheel drive. Other than that, the car itself it's quicker, not faster. So the Z06 is faster in the long term, but E-Ray's quicker to 60 by 0.1.
Which for me is kind of cool. Probably never going to top speed it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the 60 usually matters more than anything, but
then we're back to the point of like you're not going to really notice, and I mean, yeah.
At this point, we're to the point now where the updates are going to be so incrementally like okay that it's not really going to matter. You're not going to buy the next generation and be like, whoa, it's so much faster, because it's already so fast.
Yeah.
Matt Hurley said that he thinks it's quicker all the way to 100. I haven't heard that. I only heard that it was quicker to 60. I feel like I know the C8 Stingray really falls on its face after 60 miles an hour, and that's ultimately what's powering the E-Ray too. I don't know when that hybrid motor shuts off or disables or whatever, but if it's after 60, that engine by itself is going to definitely fall on its face. Larry Anthony says he has not launched his yet because he's only got 185 miles. You need to start driving that, Larry.
We need to find out about General. I don't see him in here, but
I don't see him either.
Launched his yet.
General's is, I don't want to give too much away because he told me not to, but his is out of commission right now. It's not a bad thing. He chose to do this, but it's getting something done.
Okay.
No.
Is it what?
I was just kidding. I said, is it the one I saw at LMR? No.
Oh yeah. No, it's not anything like that. Was there a 06 down there? I mean, other than his? I was going to say.
Playing. No, but you know who I talked to this weekend is the owner of Boosted District. And
nice guy.
He is very, very nice. And I got to be honest with you, I feel like he's somebody I would absolutely trust with my car. No question about it.
That car sounds mean.
Yeah.
Matt Hurley said that he's launched his car 34 times.
Woo! Does it keep control?
No.
Okay. I was thinking, is that a feature I don't know about?
He's making up the number. Just like whenever I had my C8, I used to say I've launched that thing 1,200 times because I did. I launched that thing every single time I was at a stoplight and there was nobody in front of me. I launched it. I didn't care.
Oh, that's
it was so stupid fun. And I can't believe I didn't break it up until, of course, the very end when I did. It was probably just like a progressive crack that formed in that thing, and I just kept making the crack deeper, deeper, deeper until finally it was just like, okay, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Says, I haven't launched mine yet. I have 650 miles on it. This Thursday I get scrape armor guards done and then full PPF. Is that on a Z06 or a C8 Stingray?
Oh, there you go. White hot
Yeah.
horsepower has that. We were just talking about it. His
Yep.
car.
I know.
He's got
Yeah.
that.
So white hot horsepower. Maybe you can answer this. I wanted to talk to Vet Father about this because he had a bunch of work on his car done down in LMR. What does the unlocking of the ECU with HP tuners, what does that do for you? Since you already had your car modified and tuned, with a piggyback system, and you were still putting down like 650 horsepower or something, what does the HP tuners unlock do for you? Does it give you additional power? Does it give you reliability? What exactly are you going to get out of getting that unlocked? I'm curious about that. Guys, we have 60 thumbs up currently. If you could please hit that thumbs up button, it would really, really help the channel. It also helps make sure that we're talking about the right stuff for you guys and that we're hitting the right topics, basically. Flying Cop Car said that it's a Z06. He picked it up July 1st down at the National Corvette Museum. Very nice. I heard a couple people out there asking me about my Z06. I talked to the dealership. It is built, factually built as of 2 Fridays ago, and it is sitting there waiting for dispatch. So basically, they're waiting for the car to be shipped from the factory to the dealership. My salesman told me it could be as soon as a week. It could be 8 weeks. That's his way of saying he has absolutely no idea.
It could be there right now. Mine literally the day that I got mine was still showing it was waiting to be picked up.
Yep.
And they're like, no, it's here. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's the thing is, I don't know. Like the salesman said, it could be a week, it could be 8. I'm waiting for a text message.
I'm going to hear you in Texas all the way down here.
Yeah.
Like a little
screaming.
cool girl. Yeah, screaming.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it, man. He says, congratulations, Justin. I'm actually hoping, you know what, Matt, I'll have to get in touch with you again because I'm driving it from South Carolina where I'm picking it up. I'm going to drive it from there to Florida to get PPF done. So I'll be coming kind of down through your area. So maybe we'll stop by. I do think that the HP tuner thing is going to probably assist the E-Ray better than the Z06. If I had to guess, that Z06 engine is already pretty tapped. I don't know that there's a whole lot you could do to it that's going to give you a lot of reliable power, aside from throwing turbos on it, which is obviously not reliable at all. I think the E-Ray is going to have a little bit more potential through HP tuners, so it is possible that the E-Ray ends up being even quicker than it is from factory. I am going to park it in my garage. The Z06 or the ZR1 will probably move to a different location.
That's what I said. It was going to be in my garage. We're saying the same. My garage.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to take it, I'll give it. I'll put it in your garage.
Yeah.
I need a garage for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, you do.
Wyatt says, is Blackout in Miami able to install scrape armor guards as well as the PPF? Officially, no, but we can make exceptions. So if you're coming through there and you want to get some stuff done, and we'll talk about it. Because obviously we can do it. The problem is it's time consuming and it really doesn't pay. So Kerry Glock says, Justin, call, I think, Shane Webb in the delivery office. Yeah, I talked to Shane a couple of times. I haven't talked to him specifically about my delivery, so I will email him actually. But the last I heard, the museum is closed now for the next 10 days for the 4th of July. So let's talk about a little bit of news. Let me see. Again, guys, if you want to get in on the radiator grill guard giveaway, it's just going to be $100. Every $100 donated is going to give you double entries into the grill guards, and you'll also get a t-shirt or the C8 Corvette brochure. If you haven't seen that yet, it's a very, very, very high quality brochure with all the everything inside from Z06 to the regular Stingray. Actually, right there is the Z06 engine. Talking all about the specifications. I mean, there's parts in here that are literally just color palettes. I know. Yeah, there's one. So it will show you exactly what the orange, like, or is that red? That's red. Exactly what the torch red color actually looks like in person. It goes through all of the colors. So the accelerate yellow, everything's right in there. So you could see what the actual color would look like on the car without actually seeing the car. It's really cool. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about some news here, guys, because one of the cooler pieces of news I came across was over at the Mid-Engine Corvette forum, and it was talking about how the Z06 is mid-pack of 10 on a 2023 supercar list. So this is something that you either agree with or you don't. I would have to imagine most people in this chat currently are going to agree that the Z06 is a supercar. But for those of you who don't think so, this website does. So this website called topspeed.com is going over the best supercars of 2023 ranked. So yeah, they are calling the Z06 a supercar. I personally would call the Z06 a supercar as well. I don't know if I would classify the Stingray a supercar, but I definitely would classify the Z06 a supercar. What do you guys think?
No.
I think the Stingray has supercar looks, but
overall, you say yes or no for the Stingray being a supercar?
No,
Absolutely not.
no.
What about the Z06?
No.
I'd say my supercars are Lamborghinis, Ferraris.
Exactly.
See, now I think those are hypercars.
To me, hypercars when you're hitting $1 million plus on
or I'm sorry, not hyper, exotic.
They
Exotic.
are. But
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I definitely consider the new C8 Corvette an exotic. I do. I don't consider it a supercar. I consider it exotic. And that.
All right, so let's define what a supercar is.
That would be better.
It's what I believe a supercar is. You know what I mean? Like my definition of supercar is something that is, number one, that is rare. It's not a production vehicle, like a large production vehicle. You know what I mean? They don't make 100,000 Lamborghini Huracans in the course of a couple of years.
Okay, so what you just described, Jason, is in fact the C8 Z06.
I understand, but eventually, I get this, but at the same time, it's a very similar in style to the C8 Stingray, and and don't get me wrong, like I get it. There's a lot of Porsches that are really that I would consider pretty much a supercar. That look a lot like other Porsches that are what I really wouldn't consider a supercar. But again, these are my personal definitions of what I believe.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Here's some definitions. A supercar is a car that has 500 to 900 horsepower, reaches top speeds of 200 miles an hour, and can 0 to 60 in roughly 3 seconds, and weighs between 2,200 and 3,700. If you do that, really the Stingray hits that then.
Yeah, that's my point. Is for those of you out there wondering why I brought this up, is a supercar, the definition of supercar is so loose that the C7 Stingray qualifies. So it is more so a personal opinion than it is an actual definition.
Right.
So I think it's a supercar, and a Lamborghini Ferrari is an exotic car.
That's what I've said since day one. If you want to talk about Lamborghini, Ferrari, Bugatti, those are exotic cars. Supercars, in my opinion, for the C7 and C8 generation, start at the Z06.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because the Stingray, even though it does look exotic, it lacks some of the higher end exotic feel. So, and power. Now, that definition Steve just read said that it only has to be between 500 and 900 horsepower. So a lot of cars fit into that category.
So, but here's my, who created that definition? That wasn't the that's somebody's opinion. Maybe
because there is no official definition.
That's car and driver's definition.
I understand. You know what I mean?
So I'd go by car and driver, I guess.
Speak for me.
No, not at all. And that's what I'm saying. There is no official definition. So what you think is a supercar, Jason, is a supercar to you. To me, it's different. To Steve, it's different. To basically whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, I do see the difference between a supercar and an exotic car. I do, just like Steve kind of said, I do think Lamborghinis and stuff are more of your exotics, whereas the supercars have to fit pretty much what Steve said earlier about the 5 to 900. It's got to be under a certain weight. The only thing that particular thing that he mentioned it doesn't qualify on is the 200 miles an hour plus.
Right.
The Stingray and the Z06 don't hit that, but my C7 Z01 does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here, the best thing about this though is most people can never afford a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. Right. I'd say everyone, every social class can afford a Corvette. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about models. You can find a used C4, C5. You can buy a C5 for 15 grand. Like, so that's what I like about Corvette. It's literally, I don't care. Jason, I love C5. My car is C8 and then the C5's underneath that for me because I love the C5.
Me too.
But I love about it. It doesn't matter if you're an 18-year-old kid, you can go buy a C5. You can buy, or you C4. That's what's great about having a vet.
Yep. And that, again, if you're going to be the guy who buys, whenever I bought my C7 Z06, the first Corvette I ever owned, it was by far the most expensive car I've ever owned. You could not have even remotely convinced me that wasn't a supercar. You couldn't have done it. Because everything about that car screamed supercar. The looks, the performance, the price at the time was, that car originally MSRP'd at over $100,000. The fact that every time you got to buy new tires for it, it's $2,500. All of it just screams supercar. And I still, to this day, I maintain that everything Z06 and higher, in my personal opinion, Z06 and higher, is a supercar. Now, when you talk about my C7 ZR1, it's even more so a supercar because it brings in another part of the argument that I think should be talked about as well, is how many were made. Typically, a lower production number is more likely to be a supercar, and of the C7 ZR1s, they made 2,800 of them. So that's a pretty low production car, only for 1 year, too.
Also equates to an exotic because what makes something rare and, exotic is the fact that there's not a ton of them,
Right.
Park Up Front considers the Z06 an exotic.
Yeah.
Because when I registered the Z06, it was exotic.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing is I don't think there's a clear definition of an exotic either. It's pretty much whatever you feel. And if Park Up Front wants to call it an exotic car, and here I am calling it a supercar, you can't really argue it. You can't, because there's you're not arguing on any kind of fact.
Right.
And we don't argue without fact around here,
Well, the thing is it's funny because I guess they're looking at horsepower, I assume, or maybe production numbers, but my Grand Sport was considered a sports car on the page, but Z06 was considered an exotic, and my Lamborghini was also considered an exotic. So,
that must be a horsepower thing at that point then,
Yeah.
Although I really don't know that sports car and supercar are not necessarily interchangeable, because like if you're looking at a Lamborghini that's a 2-seater, I think personally sports car, in my opinion, responds more so to a 2-seater. You've got a Lamborghini Huracan. That's technically a sports car. Yeah, it's a supercar too, but it's like if you're just putting it in a lump term of sports car or luxury car or whatever, it's a sports car.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, let's continue with this list.
Dr. Corvette.
What do we call a Lamborghini Urus? Because it's not a car per se; it's an automobile.
I would say that's a luxury SUV.
That's a luxury grocery getter,
or maybe a ultra high performance luxury SUV. I don't know.
for high performance. Plus, you can get a massage at 200 miles an hour. So that's pretty.
But again, that really raises the question even more so: is that an exotic or is that a supercar? No, I would say no to both of those because it's an SUV.
Right.
But it's made by an exotic / supercar maker. So there's definitely a lot of loopholes and a lot of things that you could easily classify your Corvette, regardless of what generation it is. You could easily classify it as supercar, and the argument can be easily made that it is.
Anyway, exotic SUV. That's good.
Let's look at this list. So the best supercars of 2023 ranked, obviously. Number 10 here is going to be a Porsche 911 GT3. Now, this is interesting. So at the very top of the list is the new GT3. Now, if you guys remember, there's been a couple different, I want to say it was Car and Driver articles, or a lot of the magazine companies out there that have pitted the Z06 against the GT3 have all said the Z06 is technically faster, but the GT3 does better on smaller tracks because it's tighter, and they prefer the brake feel of the GT3. But here it is, ranking number 10 on this particular list. So if we scroll down a little bit more, we got number 9 is an Audi R8.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically a Lamborghini Gallardo.
Yeah, Huracan and Gallardo prior.
Yeah. Scrolling down some more, we got a McLaren Artura.
McLaren Artura.
Yeah,
yes.
God. One of the ugliest cars I've ever seen, in my personal opinion. I do not find those attractive in the slightest.
I do like it.
Do you? There's something about the way that those cars are super long with no spoiler at the end. It blows my mind.
That, I got to be honest with you, that right there though was the biggest reason I never got the 570, because I didn't like the way the end looked, and I just kept looking at it. It's incomplete, and I didn't get that.
Yeah, and I think it was the 625 LT, 650 LT.
I looked at the 650S and really wanted that one, but it was a little bit more than what I wanted to spend. I ended up almost getting the 570S. The 570 is the one that just has the kind of a little bubble, where the engine bay is. It wasn't for me. I was like, I just can't do it.
I agree. I think it was the 625 LT, maybe.
675?
Maybe it was 675. It had the same exact rear end as the 570, but it actually had a spoiler, and it looked totally different. It totally brought the car back. I think it's a 650. If I remember.
It might be the 650S. I think that's the one that I wanted, because it's a full-time, almost every single one.
It looked exactly like a 570, only like sportier.
Yes.
But anyway, moving on from number 8. Number 7, we got a Maserati MC20. I've actually seen a couple of these in person. I'm not typically a big fan of Maserati, but these are actually really nice. And actually, the one I saw was with you, Jason.
Yeah.
Remember? We stopped at that.
Ferrari. I think it was at Ferrari of Dallas.
Yeah. Well, it's that dealership was half Ferrari, half Maserati. Yes, I'm not typically a Maserati guy. I don't think their cars are overly attractive, but the MC20 is actually really nice. It's got the same, mid-engine look that most of the high-performance cars have, high-end performance cars. And number 6, of course, is where we come in. So the Corvette Z06 scores number 6 on this particular list. Of course, that is pretty good considering some of the things that it's going up against. Yeah, you're right. I should have looked at the comments. Matt Hurley says it's the 600 LT. That is it.
Yeah.
If only I looked at the comments. Because, the 600 LT fixed everything I had. Any problem I had with the 570S, the 600 LT fixed.
Yeah. So what it is the 650, I think, had, if I'm not mistaken, updated the back end, or I think it was the front end of the MP412C.
Right, but the back end was still the same. Yeah. So you guys may be wondering, well, where the heck do we go from the Z06? What is possibly better than the Z06? Let's take a look. So number 5 is a Ferrari 812. What'd you say?
The 812 super fast. That's
you
the
like
one
those?
that yes.
I don't like the look of them.
I do.
I'm not a big fan of that rear wagon look thing.
Right.
But the front end, of course, very reminiscent of a C7 in some degree. Has that same kind of blacked out swooping headlights.
Yeah.
I don't like the the wagon appearance of the back, but you know, in the front's not bad. Number 4 is going to be the 765 LT, and I do agree with this one. That car is absolutely incredible looking in person. Again, I was not a fan of the 720S, but the 765 LT fixed all the problems I had with the 720S. So big performance car, and actually looks really awesome. I got to see one in person down at Blackout Tinting not too long ago, and the thing just looks totally different than the 720S. So again, let's scroll down to number 3. We got a Ferrari 296 GTB.
Oh, man,
that's an interesting one. I saw one of these not too long ago in person too. Actually, one of the guys up at Blackout Tinting again, he had a blue one with I believe the yellow face on it like that. Even though it kind of looks like, in my opinion, it kind of ends up looking like duck lips. Looks like a duck bill in the front. The paint scheme on it's interesting, but it is definitely a performer. Now, number 1 on this list, I definitely, actually we're only on number 2, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Number 1 on this list, I definitely 100% agree with. So yeah, wait for number 1 here. So let's see. Number 2 is the Lamborghini Huracan.
Mm-hmm.
What do you agree with that? Do you think that would be number 2 on a list of best supercars for 2023?
For durability, I would think. Man, it's such a bulletproof car.
Yeah. Now, the only thing that kind of strikes me odd about this is that it doesn't specify which one. Like it did with the Z06. It says clearly C8 Z06. But this one's just a Huracan. What's pictured there looks like almost a Performante.
Yeah.
But they don't say that. So obviously you can't even buy a Performante anymore. So I would imagine that's probably an STO or Evo.
I don't think
probably.
Evo doesn't have a wing though. Didn't that? Mine's delayed. Didn't that have a wing?
Yeah, it does.
Like a fixed wing. Yeah, the Evo is like electric wing, whatever you call it. So,
did they ever make the Performante in a convertible? Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're looking at here because it has that graphic at the bottom of the door. I you know who would know? Matt Hurley.
I know. Yeah, it's not
Matt Hurley. What say you? What version of Huracan is this?
It looks like a Performante, in my opinion.
He says in 23 you can get an Evo, STO, or Technica. I don't think it's not an Evo, and I don't think it's a Technica. It's not an STO either. What's pictured there looks like a Performante.
Yeah.
But anyway, I personally would say a regular Huracan doesn't really belong on that list, but an Evo, STO, or Technica, absolutely. I'm surprised they didn't specify. But anyway, guys, number 1 on the list, and I definitely agree with this one. I want to see if you do. The number 1 car, supercar of 2023, the Ferrari SF90.
Yeah, I agree.
I 100% agree. What say you, Jason?
I love that car.
I was going to say, I'm not a big fan of Ferraris. The SF90 is one of the only ones that is just absolute. You cannot take a bad picture of that car. Any angle you grab it from, it is gorgeous. It's ridiculous performance.
Yeah.
Dude, look, and that's my spec. That's my color, man.
Yeah, it does. It looks good. It really does. It looks very good. So out of all of those cars, so this website's basically telling you that the C8 Z06 is only a couple cars behind an SF90, which is pretty freaking awesome, guys. So when you stop and think about how impressive the Corvette is, just remember it's on a list with an SF90. It made a list with the SF90. That by itself is very impressive whenever you consider the SF90 is also $500,000 if you can find one. Oh, Bruno. I'm starting to think Bruno is actually Steve.
we should start a channel together. There you go. We'll start a channel.
So Mark Cutsey says that he's surprised that they chose a Huracan over an Aventador. It's because they don't make the Aventador in 2023. I think.
Well, yeah, Hey, listen. So is Bruno on Instagram?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I've got a good photo from Saturday that I can send him. It was an accident. Phone was like in my hand. I was getting ready to do a text message, and somehow the camera button like randomly.
They did.
Sure it was.
They did make the Aventador in 23. I thought that was 22 was the last year for it, but 23 must be.
Yeah.
The only reason I ever see the Aventador losing to the Huracan is because of the transmission. That's it.
Yeah.
The Aventador's faster, better performance, overall far better car, but the transmission is what lags it behind. Most people don't want to give it the award over the Huracan because of the transmission. It was testing, yeah. All right. Let's see what else. We had a couple other things I wanted to talk about real quick. So for those of you out there who have a Z06, GM is following through with the 500,000 points rewards for Z06 purchases. Everybody who has gotten them so far has said the same thing. They're coming in at exactly 6 months and 45 days. So technically it's 7 months and 15 days till you get the points. But GM is following through, and everybody who has held onto the car for 6 months is getting those points. So the article over at the MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, this is one of the users there. He got his points deposited, and he says that it was exactly somewhere on here. He said that it was 45 days after the 6 month period. Yeah, right here. So today was my 6 months plus 45 days as well. Woke up to the points being in my account. So if you have a Z06 and you're waiting for those points, give it 45 days plus past 6 months and you're good. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the ticking noise. If you guys have a Z06, I know a couple of you do out there. The ticking noise was a relatively easy fix, like we talked about before, was just retorquing some bolts, and you were pretty good. But there's a little bit of an updated technical service bulletin for this now, and the updated version comes to us from our friends over at the Corvette blogger, and it goes on to say that if this particular, they use a certain, a picoscope to make sure that the ticking noise is present, and if it is present, the service tech can move forward with the fix. If the fix is coming from the left bank of the engine, the camshaft cap adjustment procedure can be done with the engine in the car. But if it's coming from the right bank or the right side of your engine, the engine has to come out. So they literally have to pull the engine out to retorque those bolts if it's on the right side, not the left side. Now, that definitely throws a little bit of a wrench into the mix, if you ask me, because buying a brand new car and then have to have the engine pulled out of it is not my idea of a good time.
Jeez. Love the car, but there's too many issues with this car.
It does seem like every time I'm reading something new, it's more and more issues. And it really, really sucks because every time I'm like, well, I hope my car doesn't have that. Well, I hope my car doesn't have that. Hopefully my car doesn't have that. Like, I don't want to have to worry about that kind of stuff, but it's like, I'm talking about reliability in general across the C8 lineup, the C8 Stingray, the C8 Z06 now.
Oh yeah.
And probably ultimately the E-Ray. It's not as solid as the C7 was. The C7 didn't have problems like this. So I'm a little bit worried in general that the car is becoming a little too fragile for what it's built for. Yeah. Like I had a C7 Z06. I did not drive that thing like a baby. I had no problems with it. The only problem that really ever popped up with that car was the wheels would crack. And that was because they used junky material for the wheels. But like my ZR1, I have no problems with it. The car legitimately has no issues.
Matt said it's nerve-wracking for sure.
Matt, I'm assuming yours doesn't have any kind of ticking. Is that right? Guys, we got 85 thumbs ups. We could definitely use more than that. We got about 140 people watching. Be really cool if those numbers could match. I really wish I could understand why it's not. Why wouldn't you just come in and hit thumbs up? Like, I'm asking nicely.
I didn't want to see some fireworks.
C7 Z06 only had a cooling problem if it was an automatic and if it was on the track. So even then, that was not as big of an issue as what I'm talking about with the C8 stuff, because you had to do something very specific to get it to happen. Most people didn't drive that car on the track, so the overheating problem affected very few people.
Knock on carbon fiber. I love it.
That is very good. That's how you know you got one heck of a car.
Hey, man, he does.
Matt Hurley said no ticking on his, but 2 others he knows have the tick. Has your dealership done any of the repairs with this technical service bulletin that I'm reading? Have you had any come in for that? Nikki, I know you do. I know you do, and I appreciate it. Pretty much everybody that's in the chat, I can almost guarantee you, everybody in the chat has hit thumbs up. It's those lurkers. Those guys that come in and they lurk. They're not hitting the thumbs up for some reason.
They're probably hitting the thumbs down.
I know of at least one of them that's hitting the thumbs down.
Maybe even 2.
I couldn't imagine who that would be.
I know one is Speed Phenom.
I guess it could be him at this point with the way Steve went off on him earlier.
Or Speed Phenom's buddy.
Yeah.
Matt Hurley said he's doing the first one on Monday. So let me know how that goes, Matt. I guess we'll talk about it. But I'm curious how that ends up going.
I know another guy here in DFW that has had a torque tube issue on his
Torque your tube.
Yeah. So what's the mileage that something like that happened?
Dude, he's had so many problems with his.
That's right. So there are some cars, and some of these I'll give passes because this is a massively produced car. So you're going to have a car that here and there that is lemon lot, and that's just the way it goes. Now, if you're having a torque tube problem at 1,300 miles, you get that fixed under warranty and it never happens again, I wouldn't call that really an issue so much as... I literally just had somebody comment on my channel earlier that had a C8 Z06. He had it for a week. Then it was in the shop, for something in the transmission, a valve body. They fixed the valve body, and then all of a sudden something else went wrong with the transmission. They had to replace the whole transmission. They still have the car. It's been over a month that they've had the car. This is the kind of stuff that's really weird to me. It's a brand new car. It should not be having issues like that.
Yeah.
And I would not want, I mean, a torque tube is one thing, but to have the entire engine ripped out of your car, although I guess with the torque tube, a lot of the engine does have to come out too. I just fear, you got 16, 18-year-old kids working on these cars. Like, they're not putting all the bolts back. They're gonna have a handful of extra bolts whenever they're done putting everything back together.
But those are extras.
Corvette says all 6 of his are clear.
I'll see. Yeah, exactly.
That's good. Oh, it's out of warranty. How much did that cost you? That's my one fear with the C7 or the C6 is the torque tubes. Because my C7 will be out of warranty next year, and just if something were to go wrong with my car, I guarantee you it's going to be the torque tube. There's basically nothing else that car was ever going to have a problem with.
We got a buddy. He's got a 2019.
That's what I was talking about.
He's got it twice.
Yeah. Yeah, but if that's the case, that sounds like there's something wrong with the car. Because the torque tube should not.
Oh.
Yeah.
That car's been in the shop so many times.
We constantly get text pictures of his car on a record. Yeah.
Mark Cutsey says, I wonder if GM can narrow down all these problems to a certain VIN range and or a certain employee who show up to work with hangovers. Yeah. What's funny is that I bet you it's not an employee or a specific VIN range. It could be a specific VIN range, but I bet you GM was telling people to torque certain bolts to a certain spec and then realized after the fact that they needed to be torqued to a higher number. And I mean, they're never going to say, well, hey guys, we made a mistake. They're going to kind of make it sound like it was on the employee, not them. But in reality, I doubt that they would have let all these cars go out the door only to find that one guy was torquing them to a lower spec. Because for the most part, they're not doing any of these torquing things by hand. They're doing this with a robot arm. Like, they set the arm in place and hit a button and it torques it. So they really can't mess that up.
Are we going to get into a hot topic?
Yeah, I guess we better. Huh?
It's like it's 7:30 or 8:30 your time.
All right, so guys, the hot topic for tonight. I wanted to no. The hot topic for tonight is going to be warranty. We're talking about it already anyway. I want to talk about warranty because I noticed the same thing come up time after time after time about mods and voiding warranties.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing you guys have to understand, anybody out there who wants to modify their car with any part, it doesn't matter what part you're choosing. If you want a cold air intake, if you want an exhaust, if you want different LEDs in your headlights, it does not void your warranty across the board. So if you put a cold air intake on your car, it's not going to void the warranty on your suspension. If you blow a strut after putting on the cold air intake, your warranty is not void across the board. The cold air intake probably wouldn't even void your engine warranty, depending on who, whether or not they are okay with that. A lot of Chevy dealerships will tell you cold air intakes and catback exhausts are okay. But if you do something, we'll say you changed out your fuel injectors for some reason, and then the next day your engine blows up, and GM can clearly tell that your engine blew up because of those fuel injectors, that is going to void the warranty on replacing your engine. But if you had a problem with your strut, that's a totally different thing. That's still going to be covered under warranty. It doesn't matter if you voided your engine warranty with that one particular part. So again, I want to talk about this because I've talked about this before on the channel, and it doesn't matter. Your warranty is not going to be voided across the board for any one single part. Extended warranty 2, Kerry Glock, yes. They basically, the burden and proof is on GM. So if you were to change something on your car and the engine blew up right afterwards, GM would have to be able to prove that the part you changed is what caused that. And if they can, then you're done. That particular part's not going to be warranted. But if you put lowering springs on your car and then all of a sudden your engine blows up, your warranty on that is not void. However, it would be on your suspension because you changed out a core component of it. I probably wouldn't do a whole lot with the Z06 either, to be honest with you. The way that the C8 Z06 is set up, being a flat plane crank, they are very picky about mods. Flat plane crank engines in general do not like a bunch of random new stuff thrown at them. They're perfectly balanced from factory with the GM parts. So when you start swapping out stuff and putting in different things, it could throw off the balance of the flat plane crank and it's going to cause issues. Now, there are obviously mods that won't do that, like an exhaust or an air filter or, little things like that. I probably will do stuff like that, but massive stuff like changing, I heard somebody say something about a cam earlier. Like I would not do that. How many are going to get extended warranty for their C8?
I got it. The first time I've ever bought an extended warranty, ever. I bought a 5-year extended warranty.
Man,
how much was it?
I even bought the wheel warranty.
Why? You don't even have the wheels.
No, mine covered performance wheels as well. I knew I was getting it. It covered it's an aftermarket thing.
Oh, it covers your aftermarket wheels?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's weird. How much was it? Do you know?
It was only $500, but it covered up to each wheel could be $3,000 each.
What about your aftermarket warranty on the car? How much was that?
I don't know because they threw it in.
Okay.
Because I made a deal with them.
Okay.
Yes, there is a YouTube privilege on that one.
Oh my God, you YouTubers! You get everything for free.
Because tell them, didn't I want that as a hot topic tonight?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, well, I want a speed phenom too, but so I just went right into it. But
yeah.
No, but I did get one. I had to do some stuff for it.
Some stuff he doesn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
It was nasty.
Something from a back room. No.
Yeah.
2020 Matrix 8 says that my buddy Nate got his transmission replaced, had the car for one day, went back into the shop, and now needs a new gas tank.
Oh my God.
I've never heard that as a problem with this car. It needs a gas tank? That's insane. I might consider buying the extended warranty. I've never bought one either, but on this car, it kind of sounds like maybe I should. Yeah, everything from the dealership is negotiable, Dad's Garage says. And that's absolutely right. When you're buying a car, I mean, nowadays a little less than back in the day, but back in the day when you were buying a car, everything, you could negotiate everything. Be like, you know what? If you really want me to buy this car, I want this table. Throw this table in. Like the table we're sitting at signing these papers, I want the whole table.
Glass City car nerds on.
Yeah, when I bought my Grand Sport, because I paid cash, they felt they couldn't really get me to buy all the crap, so they gave whatever I did buy, they gave it to me for like 50 over their cost. They showed me their cost and they added $50. I said, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Glass City Nerd says, I got the extended warranty. I'm reluctant to mod anything as I saw the guy get denied for the front lift repair as he lowered the car, but I'm sure that was the same bad module I had in my unlowered car. Now, that is a perfect example, Glass City Nerd, of what I was talking about. He lowered the car on aftermarket parts and then was surprised when he was denied warranty on the front end lift. He literally changed the core components of what functions or what makes that front end lift function. Why he thought that was going to be covered under warranty, I have no idea. Why the internet thought that would be covered under warranty, I have no idea. You changed the parts, it broke, and then you want a GM to foot the bill. That's not how it's going to work. It's never going to work that way.
Right.
If you lower the car and had a problem with the front end lift afterwards, do the smart thing, take the collars off, and then take it in.
And Dad,
I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling anybody to do that.
Don't forget when you sell your car to get the prorated refund. And he's somebody who knows a lot about this because he keeps cars for really long months and gets rid of them. So I know he goes back and gets his refund on a regular basis. Very smart.
Oh, of the extended warranty.
Yeah, when he buys an extended warranty for like a 5-year warranty and then he keeps the car for a year, then he trades it in or less, and then he gets his money back. So I know he does that for a fact because me and him talked about it numerous times.
Awesome. Ernest Gibson throws $100 at Super Chat. Ernest, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Technically, I guess that enters him in for a T-shirt and or a brochure, right?
Venmo.
Oh, only Venmo. Okay.
But he's in for the scrape armor though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets 10 entries for the
even
scrape
though he
armor.
has a Z06. He's got the big dog.
Yeah. His looks very similar to what my car is going to look like.
Oh, Ernest's car is awesome. Yeah. Dad's Garage is correct. They make a lot of money off financing. I'm telling you, when I walked in,
oh yeah, that's where all the money comes from now.
They were so mad.
Yep.
They were not happy.
Other than them charging over MSRP, if you go in and buy a car at the actual a new car at the actual MSRP price, the dealership doesn't actually make anything on that, from what I understand. All their money comes from the financing side.
Matt Hurley would know everything. Matt Hurley knows or has. He has it or knows it.
I don't know if that's something he necessarily. Oh, Ernest did Venmo as well, he says.
Wow. He's the man.
Where's Ernest? Ernest is the man.
He is.
Nothing yet. But yeah, guys, I think we're just about going to wrap this up. It looks like. What are your thoughts on the hot topic tonight? What do you guys think about the warranty thing? With everything I just told you about what will and won't void your warranty, do you have any questions about that? Because this is one of those things, like I said, comes up on the channel all the time. And I get the question, hey, if I install this, is it going to void my warranty? That's never really, it's not as easy as a yes or no kind of question. Because yes, it will void that particular part of warranty possibly, but it does not void it across the board. If you guys have questions about that, I'd like to answer them, because I really feel like this is one of those topics that comes up all the time that it doesn't seem like, it seems like it might affect some people for modding their car, when in reality it's not going to hurt you.
How do we get Onyx effects?
We got Keith French through $20, so he gets 2 entries into the giveaway. He actually won the radiator grill guards last week, so
He's parlaying it.
that'd be cool. Front seat driver has balls.
Where is that at?
You have 2, Jason? Are you sure? Okay.
I checked. I did just before the live stream started.
Oh, wow. Okay. Checking it out.
I was.
Same warranty deal for E-Ray, 100%, Paul. Everything I'm telling you is not specific for any one car. This is actually across the board. It doesn't matter what car you're even talking about. It doesn't matter if it's a Corvette or a Ford F-150. The warranty thing is going to be the same. They would have to prove that the part you put on there broke it in order to void that particular warranty. But even then, it does not void your warranty across the board. It would only void it for that particular part.
Yeah, Kerry Glock said you should one of the documents you should read before blindly signing, but a lot of us are so giddy about the car they don't.
Yeah.
Okay, can I have the keys?
Blown 6 Gen says it the best way possible. He says, look, the best answer you can give is if you never want to have a warranty issue, don't change the car. Honestly, I think that's what it comes down to. Yeah. That is mostly true. I could take it a couple steps further. If you don't want to have a problem with the car or with the warranty, don't go crazy with it. A cold air intake and an exhaust, little things like that, they're never going to give you problems like that. But even if they did, the only thing that would be voided of your warranty would be that part. So all you'd have to do is come home and put your stock exhaust back on if it was giving you problems. That's it.
Yep.
Hey, you might want to check one more time to see if he, because I know we're doing the giveaway shortly, and you don't want to leave.
No, we're not going to do it tonight. We didn't hit enough.
Oh, God. Okay.
But you should check it.
I did. It's still not, and it's nothing in the Venmo.
Ernest.
But guys, it looks like we didn't come up with enough for the Scrape Armor giveaway tonight, but we will give it away next Monday night, and we are also going to have a special guest next Monday night. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be obviously same place, same time, same place next Monday. So happy 4th of July, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you could please hit that thumbs up on your way out. It really helps the channel. And this is what it looks like one more time, just in case you don't know. Yeah, maybe we'll give some fireworks on the way out too. There it is. You guys are going to see a bunch of these over the next coming weeks. So enjoy. Guys, we will see you next Monday night, same time, same place. Thank you all. See you then.